lovers, and welcome to the Liberty Mike podcast, broadcasting from an undisclosed location in the heart of Dixie. I am Michael, and I am here with Liberty Larry.
How's it going?
Doing all right. How are you?
I've been better.
Yeah? What's wrong with you now?
Nothing specifically with me, but it's been a rough week, man. I'm sure everybody knows about Charlie Kirk yesterday.
That made it a rough week for you?
I don't know. Dude,
Did you follow Charlie Kirk?
So a little bit. I see a lot of his clips. A lot of his clips get sent to me.
Okay.
My brother and mom are big fans.
All right.
Really big fans. So
my mom was a fan.
Really? Yeah. I don't know. This one, I don't know. It just hit different, man. Partly because I made the mistake, and it was a mistake to watch the video of when it, because like I say, it happened yesterday, right as I was getting off work, and so everything was flying in, and didn't really know a whole lot. Still don't really know a whole lot now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I watched that video, which I watched some pretty graphic stuff. It's not like that stuff normally doesn't really affect me that much, but man, that's rough, dude.
Yeah. I haven't watched it.
I don't recommend it. Don't do it. It's not worth it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't plan to. Well, far as I know, still nobody in custody.
Not as of last time I checked the internet.
Okay.
Like I say, they did.
Which was 10 minutes ago or something.
Probably, yeah, something like that. They
Imagine
did find
your phone will go bloop 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 bloop.
I figure if they take somebody into custody, I'll get a notification.
Yeah.
But they did find the gun today, and they did release a picture of who they're looking for.
Okay.
So, which last night I was telling my wife, I was like, dude, they didn't catch this guy right off the bat. I don't know that they're going to. But the truth is with cameras and technology now, they will probably find this guy. I mean, they've got a decent picture of him that they're circulating. So I think that he'll probably pop up. But...
Well, it's hard to comment on without any real knowledge of what happened. That said, I think that it is certainly fair to assume, considering the venue, etc., that it was politically motivated.
Yeah, I don't think that there's really much question about that.
It's not like he was mugged going home or something.
Yeah.
The person that shot him knew who they were shooting.
Yeah, and went through a lot of effort to do it. Not that he keeps a lot of security from what I understand. I mean, he pretty well goes to college campuses and sets up and does a little thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, it seems pretty clear that this wasn't some average Joe off the street this person had some kind of training. Now, whether or not it was ex-military or something like that remains to be seen, but I think if this was some amateur, that they would have caught him pretty quick.
Yeah, I hate to quibble over nomenclature on this, but I keep hearing the word assassination.
Yeah.
Now, maybe this is just my definition. Assassination to me implies a state actor.
Well, so that's what makes this so wild, though. And I know where you're going. That he has no political power. He's just a guy.
Yeah, and that's one of the things. I don't understand what motivates you to shoot somebody who you disagree with ideologically. The guy's not even a politician. I understand why you would shoot a politician. Not advocating shooting politicians, but I understand why you would want to shoot a politician.
Yeah.
You can have a real impact that way.
Yeah.
I think in this case, you're more likely to make a martyr than to stop the spread of this ideology if that's what you have your problem with.
Exactly.
I'm also really sickened by people who celebrate the death of somebody who they have an opposition to their political ideology. That just seems really morally bankrupt to me.
There's a lot of it out there, and it really
and it happens on both sides.
It does. Yeah. This
I'm not
time
blaming
it's
the left
one
on
side,
this,
but it happens on both sides. To me, it's low IQ when it happens on either side.
Yeah.
Like, and that's just the way I look at it. And the truth is both sides, which by the way, I'm not a party to either side. So I don't think I'm dug in one way or the other here. But there's low IQ folks on both sides. There just is.
Yeah.
And that's what that amounts to. But it's particularly sick in this situation, at least for me, because like Charlie Kirk was the guy that wanted to have the debate. Like that's all he was ever about. Like he was never calling for any kind of violence. He didn't hold any political power. He was just showing up to places and being like, let's have a discussion.
Yeah.
And was very open and listening to folks. Like, I mean, he would listen to folks that had some idiotic things to say, and just have the conversation with them,
Yeah. I mean, and I'm in opposition to some of his political ideology too. Like he supported Israel in this war against the Palestinians.
Yeah.
I don't know why we call it a war still. Like, if it's people that are on territory that you claim, is it? I mean, it's a civil war at best.
It's a civil war, yeah.
Anyway, I don't want to start going down that path, but like there are certainly things that he supported that I disagree with. Yeah. And frankly, I think that the actions of Israel against the Palestinians are also morally reprehensible.
Yeah.
But it doesn't.
Nothing justifies assassinating a guy for just strictly murdering. I'm going to call it an assassination. We can disagree on that, but that's how I feel.
Well, I mean, it's a planned murder. Like I said, to me, an assassination implies that there's a state actor involved.
Yeah.
Like states assassinate, people murder.
Yeah. Well, we don't. The truth is we don't know, and I'm not saying that.
No,
I think
we don't.
That
but
that's,
I think
that's
that
the case.
That's unlikely.
I think it's unlikely, but it's not out of the question.
It's not out of the question. Sure.
I mean, hopefully.
I mean, it could be an alien. It's not out of the question.
Well, it's not. I mean, that ship is out there, man.
Yeah.
Just saying. For the people following that one.
Yeah.
Anyway, no,
Isn't it possible?
Oh yeah, your favorite show.
Oh man.
Yeah, it sucks, man. It just the whole. I guess the only other thing I'll say about it is, like he was the moderate when it comes to this type of thing. Like just like political discourse, like he's out there having conversations, talking with people he disagrees with, and just I don't know. He's not the extremist that he's made out to be in the media.
Yeah.
Because I've heard plenty of coverage the past day of just talking about how extreme he is, and dude, there's extreme out there, and he's just not it.
Yeah, I'm just I will never come around to understand the argument that he was spreading hate speech, and so it's okay to visit violence upon him.
Yeah, because
I just don't. This is, I mean, I guess this is again one of those things that's changed over the course of my lifetime. Brought it up many times on this podcast. When I was young, it was sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will never hurt you. And somewhere along the way, it became words hurt, and now it's become silence is violence.
I was fixing to say silence is violence. Yeah, I mean, it's just that it's a decay of the culture as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, I don't know. This one hits, man. Like it's tough.
Well, I think that it kind of is in line in some respects with the stuff that's going on in the UK right now.
Yeah.
I've been bothered by the free speech issues that are affecting the UK. It's been going on for a while. There were more than 10,000 people arrested last year in the UK for what did they say? Offensive online messages.
Yeah. So, and this is something we really haven't talked about. It's been going on for a while. I've been kind of following it. And it's one of those things when you talked about bringing it up this week, which was before Charlie Kirk had happened, by the way. This was just something you had mentioned earlier in the week. I was like, yeah, we should absolutely talk about that. I'm kind of surprised we hadn't. But at the same time, like when I see stories on it, I just kind of brush it off because I'm just kind of like, well, they're just lost over there. I mean, at the point where you can't make a political post on social media, like you're done. Like your society is over.
Yeah.
As best I can tell.
Well, the real trigger this time around is that Graham Linehan, who is a comedy writer, was arrested at Heathrow. He's done a couple of things. I know him from the IT crowd, which I thought was hilarious.
Okay.
But he was arrested at Heathrow, returning from the United States for what do we call a post on X? A slash.
Is that what they're calling it now? I'm not on
I don't
X,
know.
so.
I was just, how do you make an X? It's / right? That's how you make it.
Maybe,
anyway.
Something tells me that's not what it is, but we'll go with it.
Okay. I like the term.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a slash.
Yeah.
So he made a slash
Yeah.
on X. And it was about, it was about transgender, I don't know, biologically males identifying as females in female spaces.
Okay.
All right. And he said to women out there, and this is in context, it was just funny. But he says, if a man is in the bathroom with you, confront them, contact the authorities, and if that doesn't work, punch them in the balls.
Yeah.
Which I think is hilarious.
Yeah, good chuckle out of that.
And then there was something about, there was a group of pro-immigration protesters, a photo posted online, and he replied, "I can smell it from here," or something like that. I mean, but there were like 3 or 4 tweets that they specifically identified, of which those are 2 of them.
Yeah.
In paraphrased, because I don't have them in front of me.
Yeah.
I said tweets that time. I meant to say slashes.
You got to get it going, man.
Slashes.
You got to remember.
Yeah.
Yep.
Force of habit is hard to break.
Yeah.
But that's what he was arrested for.
Yeah. That's
by 5 officers at Heathrow.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if you saw, there was a video that went viral of a couple of young Scottish girls that were being followed by some people with video cameras. They were trying to ask them questions or something. It was supposed to be actually like kind of a professional thing. Like they were scientists doing a survey or something like that, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, the girls were not having it. They were like, leave us alone, go away, go away. And the guys kept following them to the point that I think it's fair to call it harassment.
Yeah.
Not sexual harassment, but just not letting it go.
Yeah.
And this girl who's like 12 or 13 years old pulls a hatchet and a big kitchen knife.
Yeah, I did see this. Yeah.
All right. And so, but the reason that she's carrying this stuff is because those girls don't feel safe on the streets.
Yeah.
And so while the UK has 5 officers at Heathrow to arrest a comedian for a funny slash that they didn't think was as funny, for an offensive slash, maybe.
Doesn't have to be funny. It just has to be. I mean, free speech doesn't protect you only if it's funny.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah. But in the meantime, there's young girls who feel so threatened on the street that they're carrying garden tools.
Yeah.
To protect themselves from, they have rape gangs and so forth, but they can't be spoken out against in the UK because those people are immigrants and they're really the protected class.
And they're a protected class, yeah.
And I don't know, it's pretty messed up. Besides that, through all these protests that are going on in the UK, they have started to identify displaying the King George's Cross, St. George's Cross.
Yeah, you got me. I don't know.
St. George's Cross, sorry. St. George's Cross and the Union Jack.
Yeah.
So the St. George's Cross is the red cross on the white background. It's the old, long time flag of England.
Okay.
And of course the Union Jack, everybody knows, right? It's their flag.
Yeah.
It's like their national flags, and that's being identified as hate speech because people are putting them out there in protest to the high immigration rates into the UK that the government's allowing.
Wow. That's just, I go back to what I said at the foot of this, the society is lost, man.
Yeah.
Once
you can carry flags from other nations, but it's hate speech to carry around your own flag. And of course the pride flag is absolutely welcome everywhere.
Of course, right?
Yeah.
No, there's just what do you you've let your society hit a point of no return, as far as I can tell. I mean, what is it going to take beyond revolution to fix that?
Yeah. Well, and there's a part of me that wonders, and it's not just me. Like I've heard other people say that if our election had gone differently, we be in the same boat here?
Well, that's the thing you worry about, because we did more than flirt with this during COVID.
Absolutely. But the thing that we have to remember is that we're still flirting with it with Israel.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it hasn't so much went away, it's shifted.
Yeah.
Would be what I would argue.
And it's more subdued than it was during COVID,
It is.
certainly.
Yeah.
But there's, the same people that are, J.D. Vance, who's over there complaining about the UK cracking down on free speech. And by the way, the UK does not have a constitutional right to free speech the same way that we do. Like free speech protections are not the same in the UK as they are in the United States.
Yeah. Which is how you get to where they're at.
Even
though we have those protections and we went through what we did during COVID. So it just goes to show at the end of the day, it's just words on a paper.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know, the British seem to tolerate a lot. Like I always think of there's a line in a Pink Floyd song that says, "Hanging on in quiet desperation is the English way."
Yeah. Feel like there's something to that.
Yeah. And a friend of mine went to Oxford for college, and she'd been there a couple of years, and I was talking to her on the phone, and she brought up that line to me on the phone, and I was like, "Yeah, of course I know that." And she was like, "Yeah, it really is."
Yeah, really.
Like, okay, well, yeah, okay, a little equipment snafu there, but we're back, and I guess I was talking about the Pink Floyd.
Oh yeah.
Thing, hanging on in quiet desperation, being the English way, and we're not so quiet here. But to add to this, though, the next little bit of the topic is that they also have a law that is technically created to protect people from being harassed in the workplace with ideas that bother them.
Oh yeah.
Apparently it's written so broadly that they're like interpreting it to so that people who work in the pub, servers or bartenders or whatever, they need to be protected from hurtful ideas or whatever.
Or drunk people.
Yeah,
like
people saying
drunk
stuff that
people
might
being
offend
stupid.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're holding the pub owners. I'm going to use pub as an example because it's the most ridiculous thing.
Yeah.
They're holding pub owners responsible for this. So the way it's being interpreted, the only safe way for pub owners to protect themselves from being charged under this law is to prohibit speaking.
Yeah.
You can't talk about any controversial topics in here, but who's to define what controversial is?
Yeah.
And so
that'd be really bad for the bar industry, because I'm telling you right now, like that's the whole reason you go to the bar.
It's to say inappropriate things.
Well, to have conversation is where I was going. But yeah, you're right. Like
yeah, you haven't been over there, right?
Where?
To UK.
Oh, no. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I loved pub culture when I was over there. Now, I only spent a week in the UK, but I went down to the local pub every day.
Really?
Of course.
Imagine that, right? Michael was in the bar.
The fun thing about it was that it was a different group every day.
Okay.
It's like it's a local pub. It's sitting in the middle of a residential area. Yeah. There's houses on either side of this pub.
Yeah.
And so I was staying in a boarding house, like a Airbnb kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it was a couple of blocks from the boarding house I was staying in, and I went down there every night. And every night I met a completely new group of people.
Yeah, because they were just coming in on their time off, on their routine, probably.
On their night, yeah. It was like, okay, but all these people that are here on a Thursday, they know all the other people that are here on a Thursday.
Yeah.
And then the people that are there on a Friday, it's a different group of people, but they all know each other because they see each other here every Friday.
Every Friday, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was really...
That's cool.
Yeah, it was neat, and everybody was very nice, and they closed down at midnight. because that was the law there, because the UK has decided that they have a drinking problem as a nation. And so the government's cracking down on that by forcing the bars to close earlier.
Yeah.
Of course, what that means is that the people just start drinking earlier.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, more government intervention.
No, but what I was going to say about not being able to like have a conversation in a bar, I mean, if I'm going to go pay money to drink at a bar, if I can't talk, I might as well just have a drink at my house. It's a whole lot cheaper.
Yeah.
Or have my friends over to my house and I'll have drinks that way.
Yeah, as long as it's not a business, I don't think you're liable for anybody being offended. I'm not sure, though.
I just that boggles my mind.
Don't record it and don't put it online, though. That's for sure.
Yeah, right. This podcast would be done.
Yeah. I mean, it makes you wonder about things like this because they have tried to go after like Americans for things that they've said or
they
slashed
absolutely
online.
have. Yeah.
Like, I don't think our podcast is big enough to draw attention, but like I travel to Europe. I plan to do it again.
Yeah. You're going to get stopped at the airport?
Yeah. Like, how safe is it for me to travel to the UK?
Well,
although
I'm just saying it'd be really good for the podcast if you got arrested over there.
Well, maybe. Maybe. I would definitely have something more to say.
Yeah. It would give us some attention.
I might get buried in some UK prison though because I'm not well known enough.
Well, I'd come rescue you.
Yeah, you'd get in a plane.
Well,
yeah. In a couple of months, once the boat got there.
Yeah, right there you go.
Okay, that makes me feel better.
I got you back, man.
Appreciate that. Don't think I can depend on that.
You're not feeling all warm and fuzzy about that.
But yeah, the point is to like stay vigilant. Like we can't allow this kind of thing to happen in our country.
Yeah,
and they're proud of being their like liberal democracy, but this is not the sign of a liberal democracy.
No. And like I say, we flirted with it hard in this country, and it's not. This is going to be. It feels like this age is going to be one of constantly having to push back on this. That it's not like, I mean, we feel pretty good right now. I mean, there is some issues, but like this is going to creep back up again and keep creeping back up. Yeah. Because it's the nature of government. Like it's just how it operates. Mm-hmm. So.
Well, you want to hit the vaccine stuff again?
Yeah. we really want to like rub on that third rail, right?
I suppose, man. Yeah. So. I thought of a comment and then I thought better of saying it.
I just got to let it
inappropriate. No. That's, I don't want to have to reclassify the podcast. We are not explicit.
We are not explicit.
Yeah. So I heard this. Actually, I heard this clip today on No Agenda because I'm like a week behind. So this is sort of old news, but this whole thing is sort of old news.
Well, it's back around again though.
Yeah. And I've been thinking about it anyway because I've got a friend who that we usually meet up every other week, and we were talking about, we met last week and we were talking about changing up weeks and meeting again this week, and we decided not to, and well, because somebody in the group already had plans for the day in question and so on. Anyway, but he sent a message saying that it's a good thing that we decided not to meet this week after all because he's got COVID.
Wow.
And
that's still something people get?
Yeah.
I thought we eliminated that with the vaccine.
And that's what I said. I said, you should have gotten that booster.
Yeah.
And he said, I wanted to, but they hadn't made it available to us yet at the clinic because he works in the medical field.
Yeah.
And, of course, I was being a smartass.
Yeah, right.
But I knew his position on these things, too. So I was not at all surprised at his serious response to that comment. And this guy, like, he's had COVID more than anybody I know.
Yeah.
And he probably is on his 6th booster or something like that.
Yeah. Couldn't be me.
Now, I haven't gotten any shots, and I've gotten it twice.
Yeah.
Both times at libertarian conventions, by the way.
Well, I say that I've gotten it a few times, but the truth is I've never, also on top of never being vaccinated, I've never taken a COVID test.
Yeah.
So I can't officially say I've ever had it, but I definitely had it once. Like I think we can establish that.
Yeah.
The one time I was that couldn't have been anything but COVID.
Yeah. Well, and so you keep hearing these same things, and this is a really smart guy, and I'm convinced that the reason that he can't come around is because he can't admit that he's been duped.
Yeah. There's a lot of people in that boat that just, because, and I would love to give these people kind of a pass on it. Like, I mean, we went through, especially if they were willing to admit now that, just like you said, that they were duped, because I think that's fair. I mean, the propaganda campaign that we went through during COVID was unlike anything I've ever seen in my lifetime.
Yeah.
I mean, it was absolutely insane. If people want to come out now and be like, look, I think, by the way, I think Trump may even be coming around to this too, as far as just being duped. He put out a tweet earlier this week saying that, these pharma companies need to kind of release some of this information, the stuff that they're telling him they need to release to the public and that sort of thing.
Oh, well, he just wants his own legacy secured by them
But
putting out data to support how wonderful he was for his approach to the vaccines.
The way it was framed in a way, because I don't have the exact quote in front of me, but that like it definitely left the door open for him to kind of walk away from Operation Warp Speed.
Yeah.
In the same way that he was, that as far as being duped. So going back to just regular people though, like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with saying, look, I fell for this horrible propaganda campaign.
Yeah.
Like, there shouldn't be any shame in that. Like, I mean, like I said, it's like unlike anything we've ever seen. Like, just own up to it.
Yeah. I started thinking like, okay, so how do I address this with people that are still on board? And like, I will say over and over again, you want to get the vaccine, that's your business. What I think you should do is you should understand what's true and what's not about them. Like, there should be real disclosure. You should understand the risks, the statistics, the likelihood that it matters, etc. But I was thinking, okay, so how do I address this with him next time I see him? Because there's no way I'm not going to talk about it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well, let's just establish some matters of fact that we cannot possibly disagree on.
Okay.
One, they changed the definition of vaccine so that these treatments could fit.
Yeah, they absolutely did that. I don't think anybody can
You can't deny
that.
It is right out there in public.
Yeah.
Like, it was done. You can, in fact, both be infected and transmit the infection after you've been vaccinated.
Yes.
Fully vaccinated.
Which, once again, we know that now, but that was not the propaganda at the time.
Right.
And I know plenty of people that got that vaccine on that propaganda.
Yeah.
Because that's what they were saying.
Because Fauci himself said, you get the vaccine, it stops with you.
It stops with you. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of people, and I don't fault those people, by the way. They thought they were doing the right thing.
Sure.
I mean, maybe they could have dug in a little better, but whatever. Like they listened to what the information they were given at the time, and did it.
That's another thing though about Fauci, is that he both said he was willing to, and in fact did, lie to the public in order to achieve a particular result.
Yes.
Like to encourage a particular behavior.
Yep. Yeah.
On more than one occasion, actually. But he has both said that he was willing to and has admitted that he did lie to the public to achieve a particular behavior or to encourage a particular behavior from them.
Yep.
All right. That the vaccine companies, the pharma companies, admitted in the EU Commission that they made claims that the vaccine would prevent your ability to transmit the infection without ever having even tested that.
So they knew. I mean, they knew that it was
No, it's what they didn't know.
Well, they didn't know. They didn't have a way to know what they were saying.
Which is the thing that I got untold grief about on this podcast for saying. Because what I got on here and said over and over and over again is that the claims that they are making about the vaccine, they cannot possibly know at this point.
Yeah.
All right.
It turns out they didn't.
I mean, those are just a few of the things, though, that are matters of fact that fly in the face of your belief in continuing to take this thing over and over again.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, I can't get past the I'm going to take a vaccine where I can still get infected and transmit the infection to others.
Yeah.
What's then the point? Of course, the claim that they're making is that it's less likely to be severe.
Yeah.
That's another one. That's an impossible question to answer.
Yeah,
there's no way
to test
that you can. Yeah, there's no way you can come to that conclusion because everybody is different. I mean, I guess you can establish some general trends, but you can never learn enough to make that statement because you don't know how serious it would have been for you had you not taken the vaccine.
Yeah.
And the opposite of that is also true. You can't know how not serious it would have been if you had taken the vaccine.
Exactly.
And there's not really strong data on real trends about who gets sicker.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
I mean, they were doing data. They were putting out data saying, huge percentages of people that were hospitalized were unvaccinated, but they were including all of the hospitalizations from the beginning of COVID, including the year where there was no vaccine.
Where the vaccine didn't even exist.
So, of course, all of those people were unvaccinated.
Yeah.
At the worst of the COVID, everybody was unvaccinated.
Yeah.
Of course, then they'll take that same statistic that I just said, and they'll tell you, well, that just shows that the vaccine, when the vaccine was developed, it helped inhibit the spread of COVID because the COVID numbers went down after the vaccine was developed. The worst of COVID was before the vaccine was developed. Yeah, that's how viruses work.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Whether the vaccine had been there or not, it would have tailed off because that's how viruses work.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I'm blown away. But we should play this clip because it's like we have to stop every 15 seconds on this thing. It's so frustrating to listen to. So we're going to put our audience through the same frustration.
Yeah.
Hopefully our commentary will make light of it, though. Yeah. So let's start with the first part of the clip.
All right.
Then, given what's happened with some states, they're pushing to make vaccines more accessible. In Florida, they're moving to remove vaccine mandates.
So it took all of 7 seconds for us to have to break in and point out that these two systems that he sets up in opposition to each other are not in opposition to each other. The some states trying to make vaccines more accessible is in no way mutually exclusive with a state removing mandates.
Yeah.
You can actually do both at the same time.
Yeah.
So anyway.
The whole idea that this removing mandates is such a terrible thing just blows my mind.
Yeah.
I mean,
your life is not that hard.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on because we have to stop this a lot.
All right.
We may just be looking at a patchwork of states with different, protocols, different policies.
That's the right word. I think a patchwork, and it's a fractured approach that we really haven't seen right now in this country before.
Apparently, she studied different history than me because she just said that we have never had a federalist approach to lawmaking in this country before. And my reading of history would suggest that that was the foundation that this country was set up on.
Yeah, absolutely. Like what we have now is the
anomaly.
Is the oddity. Yeah, exactly. So.
Yeah. So, all right. Let's let her keep talking, I guess.
All right.
And unfortunately, we are seeing exactly that. Florida sort of stepping backwards with their mandates, the Northwest and the Northeast forming alliances. But the reality is, Michael, vaccines don't know borders. They don't know the difference between Texas and Washington. And even though you're vaccinated, it's not perfect. So you can still get sick. So, it's going to be a tough situation.
Okay, Liberty Larry.
Yeah.
Can you tell me the point she's trying to make there?
The point I'm taking is that these vaccines aren't very good.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what I took away from that.
It does seem to be a counterpoint to what she's like her grand theme, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know what the viruses don't know borders. That's relevant. Like, what are you trying to say?
Yeah.
And if you get vaccinated, you can still get sick. Yeah.
I mean, what she's trying to say is you should still really be afraid of those unvaccinated people.
Yeah,
and we
I
really
think
need a way to mark those folks so we know who they are.
Well,
I mean,
obviously they're in Florida.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You just got to check everybody's license.
I think you're right. I think that the point that she's trying to make here is the same stupid point that the spin that they were putting on that Danish mask study and so forth that says that protective measures only work if everybody does them.
Yeah.
You can only prevent people from dying it's like saying you can only protect yourself in a car accident if the other driver wears a seatbelt too.
Yeah. Right?
It's not the same thing. Like that.
If your vaccine is so horrible that everybody has to get it to protect you, then it's not very good in the first place.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the truth is that it's been shown at this point that even if everybody got the vaccine, people would still get sick and people would still transmit it and people would still end up in the hospital and people would still die.
Yeah. So what's the point?
Yeah. But I just found that particular bit funny. It's like, first off, it seems to kind of undermine her point. But when you really think about what she said, it's hard to figure out what the point is that she's trying to make.
Right.
But I think that that's right. I think the point that she's trying to make is we have to all do this or it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's keep going.
Carry on.
We may see the rise of groups like the Vaccine Integrity Program that's now coming out of Minnesota to kind of fill in these gaps in the science because people feel lost now for where to turn.
I can't help but follow the money here. And you have to wonder if the removal of a mandate potentially takes the insurance companies off the hook for reimbursements here.
So how do you follow the money to the wrong place?
I know. There was a moment there that you were like, oh, we're actually going to ask a question that matters.
Yeah, I thought we were really fixing to get to something. And no, we went the wrong way.
Yeah, she followed the money in the wrong direction. She followed the disbursements instead of the collection.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I find that one strange. I think, okay, so the rest of that's not was addressed last week. I think I made a good case as to why, if they're an effective treatment or prevention, why insurance companies would want to pay for them.
Would encourage you to get them.
But of course, in the previous clip, we established that they don't really do a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, but this actually gets stupider. So let's keep playing. Let's listen to the response to this, because the response is hilarious in a very dark way.
Okay.
There's absolutely going to be ripple effects, Rebecca. We have a signal that private insurance companies for now will continue to cover, but the big concern is around Medicare, Medicaid, vaccines, the vaccine fund for children. Those who are getting free vaccines, what will happen to their coverage?
So the concern here is that the government insurance companies won't cover the vaccines.
Yeah.
That's pretty rich right there.
Yeah, right.
So we're not concerned about the greedy capitalists in the private industry not covering these vaccines because it costs them too much money. But we are concerned about the humanitarian government not covering these vaccines because why?
Because obviously they
because
know
their
that,
own policies don't require them anymore?
right? Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm assuming that this is actually kind of a veiled attack on RFKJ.
Must be. That was my assumption.
But she doesn't actually say that.
Yeah.
So, but I'm guessing that's actually the point that she's trying to make right there is that, well, we have to get this crazy nut job out of HHS
Yeah.
so that the government will cover the vaccines that they paid for already,
Right.
paid for the development of, is what I mean. So, okay. So there's one last clip to close all this out.
All right.
And then we're maybe done with this topic for a while.
You talked about gaps in the science, but the basic science about vaccines is pretty clear, right? Vaccines are safe, they are effective, they should be used by kids.
George, the science has not changed. The science doesn't change. What changes is how we interpret it, our policy. The science has not changed.
Okay. We've talked about what science is enough on this podcast.
Yeah.
Probably. So the guy's statement is just stupid anyway. He says, so the science on vaccines is clear, right? Vaccines are safe and effective and children should use them. That's actually what he said.
That's what he says, yeah.
I mean, it's like saying the science on mushrooms is clear, right? Mushrooms are a healthy, nutritious food, and children should use them.
Yeah. Well, some of
Now,
them are.
probably generally speaking, that's correct.
Yeah.
Generally speaking.
Generally, yeah. Don't go run around in a cow field.
Yeah. Some mushrooms are very effective.
Yeah, right. You're gonna find some of those magic mushrooms.
And some are not so safe.
Yeah. Especially for children.
It's just like this is a really broad category to make that kind of generalized statement about.
Yeah.
Is the point that I'm making there. And then of course her thing, like she does say our interpretation of the science changes. That's kind of her out on that, on what would otherwise be another just like absolutely ridiculous statement. The science doesn't change. Science doesn't change. Science changes all the time. The science changes all the time.
Yeah.
The science, this like copyright of the established facts, because that's how they use that term.
Yeah.
The science is the established facts. That changes all the time.
Yeah.
It was an established fact that this was a natural virus that there's no way it could have come from a lab 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Now it's pretty well accepted that the science says that it is a lab-created virus.
Yeah.
And that there's another one coming.
Yeah.
Don't forget that.
Because they're going to release it.
Science is a process. Science is not a collection of facts.
Yeah.
So she's still wrong. The statement that the science doesn't change, the science changes all the time. Science as an approach doesn't really change.
Yeah.
There is a method called the scientific method.
I was going to say, I
strangely
think
enough.
I feel like I've studied this.
Yeah. But what science actually is not, science isn't a noun. Science is a verb.
Yeah.
All right. Science is a process by which you eliminate possibilities.
Yeah. And then you're left with what you're left with.
Yeah. And okay, your interpretation of that can change over time, but it's not, the whole idea of established science is just ridiculous because it can be overturned in no time.
Yeah.
Just with one experiment that goes the other way.
Yeah.
At least if it's repeatable. It doesn't actually happen with a single experiment
has
and then
to- it has to be
only iterated
replicated,
one
yeah.
time. But
Yeah.
but the same experiment replicated repeatedly and getting the same results that are counter to what you've believed in the past can overturn like a really well-established scientific idea.
Absolutely.
All right. Like gravity.
Yeah, we still don't know why we're held here.
Yeah. Newtonian gravity has, Newtonian physics period held strong for 500 years
Yeah.
as the way that the universe works.
Yeah.
But then quantum mechanics came around and Newtonian physics doesn't explain that.
Yeah.
So Newtonian physics is at best part of the answer. It's not the answer anymore.
Yeah.
It's not like the whole science anymore. And the whole idea of gravity is being turned over right now. I mean, there's like the law of gravity is no longer
law.
a completely accepted idea in science, right?
Yeah.
It explains the results,
Yeah.
but not all of them.
Yeah.
And so, as we've conducted more and more experiments, we found that there are cases that our understanding of gravity doesn't explain.
Yeah.
And so it's at best a partial picture of how the universe actually works, at best. And it might be completely wrong.
Yeah.
And we'll find out over the next however long it takes. Who knows?
Yeah, right.
But anyway, I was frustrated by the entire clip. And actually there was a clip before that where she just I didn't want to play it because I didn't want to totally bias the audience against her before we really got started addressing what I think is more important questions in that. But she just bold-faced lies in the first clip where she's talking about
the bodies in the freezer trucks.
Oh yeah, the freezer trucks full of bodies and so forth, which I don't know.
But the freezer trucks were there.
Oh yeah.
They just weren't full of bodies.
I don't know any first-hand accounts that support that at all.
Yeah.
From anywhere.
Yeah. I mean, all the accounts I heard was that they were prepared with the trucks and then the bodies just kind of never came.
Yeah. I just got one more thing that I want to hit real quick before we close out here. Because I got two things.
Okay.
I got two things. And actually, the one that I grabbed the piece of paper for is probably the less relevant or less important.
Better to close out on.
Yeah, we can just close on it. One thing leads to the other, sort of. So this is in the category of news that you didn't hear.
Yeah.
The Shanghai Cooperation Organization, the SCO, is kind of a loose collection of mostly Asian nations. It does include, a lot, I guess, all of the nations that the U.S. has declared axis of evil again.
Yeah.
So Russia, China, North Korea, Iran, India, Pakistan's part of it, even though India and Pakistan don't get along. So this is actually
they're not friends. Yeah.
So this is actually, on the whole, I think, a fairly positive organization for maintaining peace and stability in the world.
Yeah.
But so they had a couple of meetings last week, one in Tianjin and one in Beijing, both in China.
Yeah.
And a lot of these world leaders were over there, and they discussed a number of things. Now, if you heard anything about it in Western media, you heard that this was a collection of nations in opposition to the United States in their smoke-filled room, determining the best way to destroy the United States.
Yeah. I mean, that's more or less what I heard. Like I say, yeah.
Well, okay, so what they were actually doing over there. So this is a cooperative that's, it's not really all one thing. So, the BRICS nations, for the most part, are in the SCO, but BRICS is expressly an economic organization. The SCO does a lot of things. It is a security organization partially. And in fact, those countries have worked together to fight terrorism across Asia fairly effectively. It seems. I mean, I don't know full details, but they seem proud of what they've done anyway.
Yeah, well, so do we, but that doesn't make it.
That's true. Well, exactly. I mean, that's why I say. But so they're part security organization. They're part economic affiliation. There's a lot of aspects of it that are developmental, like both economic and cultural, moving forward. It's an interesting group.
Okay.
But they weren't actually meeting to determine how they were going to cause the downfall of the United States. A big part of it was them trying to establish a structure to protect themselves from American economic warfare.
Yeah. Well,
all right.
Kind of sounds like the same thing, though, if you think about it.
Well,
I mean, they may
suppose.
not. Yeah.
It's not expressly antagonistic towards the United States, though.
Yeah.
It's not
It's
aggressive.
more of them trying to protect themselves from the United States than it is trying to be aggressive towards.
Yeah, it's not aggressive. They're not trying to take down the United States. They're just trying to prevent the United States from taking them down.
Yeah. Okay. I mean,
Economically.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I said, that was the bigger part of it, is to try and set up parallel economic systems so that they can function outside of the U.S. economic sphere.
We can't have that.
No. And we will use our military to prevent that from happening too.
Yes,
which
we
is
will.
the real problem.
Yeah.
But along with it, there was, it wasn't even really a part of it. It was just a coincidence of timing. The 80th anniversary of the end of World War II in China happened at the same time. And so there was a big military parade as well. I think that there was a message there. I think that hopefully if people are paying attention, they recognize that China is a military power. They are not a pushover.
Yeah.
I don't think that it was meant to be threatening.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's hard to say.
Yeah. I mean, he did have Putin and Kim Jong-un there, so...
Yeah, I mean, they were there for the SCO meeting, though. And, like, I don't know, if you're doing a parade...
Yeah, you go see the parade, right?
Yeah, I have stepped up into the crowd of many a parade that I had no idea what it was even about, so...
Yeah.
I mean, we have parades for everything here, so...
it's a little different than the South, where we just, like... It's Mardi Gras country.
Yeah, I have found myself in funeral parades somehow too.
Yeah.
But anyway, the big thing that came out of it though was that they have like I said, there was a lot of work towards freeing themselves from dollar dependence, U.S. dollar dependence.
They can't do that. We're the world country, or global currency.
Yeah. Well, we might not be for long. If we use it as a club to beat people with, they stop
abiding by it.
Yeah, they stop wanting to pick it up, you know?
Exactly.
So what they did actually agree to was to establish the SCO Development Bank, which is kind of akin to like the IMF or World Bank organizations. Those organizations are run by the United States primarily. The controlling interest is the United States. So they wanted to set up their own development fund bank to support infrastructure projects within those nations without having to be dependent on goodwill from the United States.
Yeah.
Now, the thing that I find particularly interesting about this is that Russia has been blocking the formation of this SCO Development Bank for years, for like a decade, actually.
Really?
I think the whole thing was established in 2008 or something. I don't remember. But because Russia wanted to funnel development money through organizations that they controlled.
Yeah.
And in this organization, in the SCO, China's really the one with the controlling interest.
Yeah.
Russia's kind of a junior partner.
Gotcha.
But Russia has been able to stand up and prevent China from getting this through for years and years. And they didn't this year. And I think that that's partly the fault of the West's assault on Russia through Ukraine.
Yeah. Through the monetary system.
Yeah. Now, of course, the other thing that happens here because of this is that Russia starts sending its cheap energy to China and to North Korea and to India instead of to Europe. And Europe has to pay the United States exorbitant fees for liquid natural gas instead.
Yeah.
So
that we're sending over on ships, by the way.
Yeah. So one of the side effects, of course, of our economic assault on Russia, on the West's economic assault on Russia, is that it weakens and it weakens the West and costs the West more, while actually cheapening energy for the quote unquote rival nations.
Yeah.
All right. So, but the other thing here is that because of the war in Ukraine and the sanctions and so forth on Russia, the relative power between Russia and China has shifted more in China's favor.
Yeah.
And so Russia just didn't really have the power anymore to prevent the establishment of the development bank ostensibly under China's control.
Yeah. So.
And then, of course, the other news there, as far as Russia is concerned, is that Poland shot down some Russian drones, is the report.
Yeah.
Over Polish territory. The one drone that I saw a picture of is not an active drone. Like it's not an offensive drone. It's a decoy drone.
Okay.
So when Russia sends a big drone attack into Ukraine, I think it's something like what I've heard, what the reports are from the military people, is something like 40% of the drones are decoys, because the Ukrainian defense can't tell the difference between an armed drone and an unarmed drone. And so
you just send a ton of them.
Yeah, so they have to focus resources on the fake ones too.
Yeah.
Their air defenses have to go after everything.
Yeah.
So the one drone I saw, though, like I said, is a decoy drone. It wasn't an armed drone. I mean, there's a lot of questions about this. I don't know that it served a real purpose for Russia.
Yeah.
Although it can. I mean, my first thought is that this is kind of akin to the Assad gassing his own people.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense at this time. It's just going to draw more nations in potentially to a war with you that you don't want.
Yeah.
So I don't think that it was done intentionally. If it's the Russians, there's also, of course, the possibility that Ukraine or the U.S. or the EU or any number of groups could have created a false flag in this way. I wouldn't lean on that either. I think that the more likely answer is that it was just an error on the Russian side. But there's also the possibility that Russia was trying to send a message and say, hey, look, if you are intent on escalating this thing, we can reach you.
Yeah.
You are not out of touch from us. Because they did also, for the first time, attack a political meeting in Kiev.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Russia did. So that one was certainly a message.
Yeah.
And this might have been also.
Yeah.
Now, I would make the case that Russia is the only one that is actually proposing some kind of peace deal, that the EU and Ukraine have rejected peace deals. They're intent on a ceasefire, but they're not offering any terms for it. They just want a ceasefire. Russia's the only nation that's actually offered up terms that they can agree to bring an end to the conflict.
Yeah.
So from my perspective, it's the EU and Ukraine that are preventing any kind of negotiations in this. Of course, their position is that Russia won't come around to their demands, essentially. But they haven't even been clear about what their demands are, except for the, first off, a complete capitulation by Russia, who's winning the war, and that doesn't make sense, or an immediate ceasefire with no terms, really.
Yeah.
Which they also can't agree to.
Yeah, which Russia's not going to agree to that anyway, because just like you said, they're winning the war. Like, there's no reason for them to let off the gas for a few days or a week or whatever and let the other side regroup.
Right, exactly.
That just wouldn't make strategic sense.
No, exactly. So after this this drone incident in Poland, Viktor Orban, who's the Hungarian prime minister, I want to say prime minister.
Name is really familiar, but I don't know.
Viktor Orban's, he's kind
been
of
around a while.
Yeah, he's the Hungarian Trump. You know, it's another one of those kind of things. But he said he made a post on X. He made a slash.
Yeah,
we're making this happen.
We're doing it. Yeah.
He made a slash and said, I'm going to read both of these, and we'll just kind of end there because I think this is interesting. He starts off, he says, Hungary stands in full solidarity with Poland following the recent drone incident. The violation of Poland's territorial integrity is unacceptable. Okay. He's given the right message there.
Yeah.
But he goes on.
Yeah.
He says, the incident proves that our policy of calling for peace in the Russia-Ukraine war is reasonable and rational. Living in the shadow of war is fraught with risks and dangers. It's time to make it stop. To this end, we support the efforts of President Donald Trump aimed at achieving peace. Whoa, no, that is not the EU message, Victor.
Yeah.
So Radoslav Sikorski from Poland responds, and I'm going to read his response here.
Okay.
He says, no, Victor. The incident proves you should get off the fence and condemn Russian aggression. We ask you to unblock the disbursement of EU funds for defense, approve tougher sanctions on the aggressor, and withdraw your veto on starting Ukraine's EU accession negotiations. So he's essentially saying, no, Victor, we don't want peace. We want to continue this war. And we want to escalate the tensions that brought about the war in the first place.
Yeah. And,
Okay.
and that's really where the point is that like this war didn't just come out of nowhere and pop up. There's reasons for it. Now, I'm not trying
History
to...
did not begin in February of 2022.
Exactly. And I'm not justifying Russia going in, but let's not sit here and pretend there wasn't a reason that they did.
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah, reason is not justification, but reason has to be considered.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, it wasn't an irrational act.
Yeah, exactly.
There were very specific things that led to this, some of which Russia has been complaining about for more than a decade.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I really, I knew that it wouldn't be as easy as Trump seemed to think that it was going to be to bring an end to this when he took office. But I really had a lot of hope that he would bring about a peace deal, and I don't think that he's capable.
Yeah. I mean, I do think that he wants to, that he's genuine in that. I do think that he's, and I hate to use this word, but I do think he's just scared to do what it'll take.
Well, a part of it too is that he keeps switching sides.
Yeah.
Like he keeps taking both sides, and in the way he's doing it, it doesn't make both sides feel like they're being listened to. It makes both sides feel like they can't trust him.
Yeah. So,
We'll see what happens. I mean, I think that this war is coming to an end one way or another.
yeah. I mean, my understanding is Russia has stepped up its assault and attacks this past week, right?
Well, they have been doing that pretty constantly for a while.
Have they? Okay.
And they've been pushing forward, taking a lot more territory.
Yeah.
Of course, that the mistake is focusing on that in a lot of ways. Is that the West approaches this like it's a go game or something where Russia's just trying to control as much territory as they can. Russia is just trying to eliminate a threat. They're not really concerned as much with the territory.
Yeah.
The territory is a part of eliminating the threat, but they're not concerned with controlling all of Ukraine. They're concerned with destroying Ukraine's ability to be a threat to them.
Yeah.
And destroying their army is good enough.
Yeah.
Although-
And making sure that we don't send one in there.
Yeah.
Or not necessarily us, I guess, but the Europeans.
Well, the Europeans
NATO.
can't.
Yeah. NATO. Yeah.
The Europeans can't. It would have to be the U.S.
Yeah.
The Europeans don't have enough troops to
Yeah.
actually have a real invasion into Ukraine to protect Ukraine.
Yeah.
They're not capable. And like I said before, they're obviously not so concerned about Russia taking over all of Ukraine and then moving into NATO territory, or their plans for building a EU army and so forth wouldn't be 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
This is all foolish.
Yeah.
And my real concern is that we have been so allergic to any kind of real diplomacy for so long because we've been so powerful. Gareth Porter, it's not exactly about it's about Vietnam, but he has a book called The Perils of Dominance.
Yeah.
And I think about that phrase a lot. And that's what we've had for a couple of decades since the fall of the Soviet Union. The U.S. until very recently has been the single dominant power in the world.
Yeah.
That's not so much the case anymore. Some other countries have caught up. Russia, probably the least of them. China is, of course, like much closer to being a peer competitor. But
it does worry me because Trump doesn't manage this country in a way that accepts that.
Nobody has.
Well, nobody has, but
that's exactly the problem that
Yeah.
I'm trying to get at, is that because we have been the dominant power for so long, we refuse to accept anything else, and we have used our dominance to just like beat everybody into submission that didn't fall into line on their own.
Yeah.
And we've forgotten entirely how to negotiate.
Yeah.
We just threaten.
Yeah.
We're not diplomatic. We're just bullies.
Yeah. We got the big stick.
Yeah. But it's not so much bigger than everybody else's anymore.
Exactly.
And we need to get back into a diplomatic view of the world where we accept that other nations have interests that they want to defend too.
Yeah.
And, cooperation always is better than competition.
Yeah.
In terms of like growing wealth and so forth. So we have to understand that and be willing to make some concessions in some places for the greater good, or whatever you want to say. But it's always there. Like there's very few of these kind of situations that are actually like can't be resolved except through violence.
Yeah.
Almost everything can be resolved without violence. And a lot of it comes down to, like in this particular case, letting people make their own choices about their lives would have solved the problem.
Yeah.
I mean, if Ukraine hadn't... Well, okay, so first off, Ukraine elected a government that was willing to negotiate with Russia, and the West couldn't stand by that, and so sponsored a coup to overthrow that government and put a different government in power. That's a first mistake. That government couldn't accept that people that lived in the east and south of their country wanted to maintain their own Russian ethnic culture and language, and essentially made it illegal to speak Russian in the country, even though 40% of the population or something like that, 30 to 40% of this population, that was their primary language.
Yeah.
And then they launched a civil war into a couple of regions within the country that rebelled against that proclamation and said that we're not going to stand for this government.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like a comedy of errors.
Yeah.
But most of it comes down to, if you just let people make their own choices and respect those choices, we probably wouldn't have ended up here.
Yeah. Right.
Victory for libertarianism again.
Yep.
That's a good place to end, I think.
Yeah. We're right about everything.
Yeah. All right. So next week's problem.
Uh-oh.
I'm out of town.
Ooh.
I may end up getting a podcast, but
You won't have to be able to put it up for you.
I could probably, but I won't.
Okay. Well, all right. That is what it is.
I say that. I might end up. I don't sleep much, so
Yeah.
and I'll be in an unfamiliar city and not sleeping much, so
Yeah.
I might find myself in the morning with nothing better to do than to
Yeah.
assemble the podcast and so forth. But probably not.
Yeah.
It's a possibility that we could just record early and get one out.
Yeah. I mean, maybe. Depends on what day.
We could make our
is.
Tuesday.
Yeah. I mean,
podcast
you
day.
know I'm available Tuesdays.
Yeah.
So.
So we could make Tuesday a podcast night. We could, rather than making plans out, we could stay in, order some food, record a podcast.
Yeah. I'm not opposed to it.
Yeah. So that's probably the best way to do it if we're going to get a podcast out next week.
Okay. So it's Tuesday or bust.
Yeah. And then I'll probably get it posted Wednesday.
Okay. So it's Wednesday.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to get too far off schedule.
Yeah.
So that's the plan. We'll make that the plan for now, but it's a possibility that we just don't get anything out next week. Because if anything goes wrong,
Yeah.
like there's not time to make up.
Yeah. And my schedule is prone to things coming up. So.
Yeah. Mine is too right now. So,
Yeah.
okay. Well, but we'll do our best to get some content out next week. If not, we'll have something that the following week. And in the meantime, though, you can always follow us on Facebook. You can subscribe on iTunes, YouTube, Podbean, and or all of the above. Like and share, comment, tell your friends. You can always email me, michael@thelibertymike.com. Visit our website, thelibertymike.com. You'll find all our stuff there, including articles that I've done that were published on other platforms. Let's see. I guess that's all the things.
Them's the things.
We'll be back as soon as we can.
Yeah.
And we'll finally get this right then, maybe then.
Maybe.
Wow, I screwed up that line, didn't I?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Well, try to stay free.
All right. Life's short. Live free.
Ciao.
Later.